Unless you want it now.
No.
So with that correction, I entertain a motion for the minutes of the 18th.
I'll move on.
Oh, you're knocking my stack.
I wait for
Getting out of here.
minutes as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. At this time, I will turn it over to Don Shockley for old business.
Yeah, the first thing down there, we're gonna have to wait till another few minutes before we have the hearings on the drains. I do have, the number 34, George and HB Guilford, drain. We have been past the 30 days or 20 days that they can file to,
I got 51 and 88.
well, this is something else, just,
Oh,
that's
okay.
the Emmer hearings. I thought I had here just a second ago. Still got that wood. It was, maybe check here. Oh, that's the minutes. Got substituted, there was a letter on top there, and it was, now it's not on there.
Did you pass it to one of us?
And to give it to one of them,
Hmm?
do they have it?
The 34, I don't have it all. It was right on top, but these two, I have it in here somewhere.
You don't have anything that says 34 report, do you? I got the 88.
Yeah, it should just be one page.
Can you kind of go off the top of your head?
There we go. Yeah, but on the 34 drain, we had the hearing a couple months ago, and you guys approved the new rates. We sent the orders out, and it's been past the 20 days, well past probably 50 days now, that they could do that, and we just now need to approve the certificate of assessment so we can get the report together and have it ready for the auditor when we collect taxes next
So we
year.
need a motion to.
Just a motion to approve the certificate of assessment, yeah,
Okay.
with the new rates.
I'll move it. Appreciate that. Accept, approve the
The assessment.
assessment. Be submitted.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Do I sign that, Don?
Yeah.
Deserves a
No. Okay, and with that, basically we can go ahead and, we had one new work order for this, this month. It was 3823. It's the number 104 William Parks down in Democrat Township, 200 east and 750 south at the broken tile out in the field. They just reported it just here last week, I think it was, with the, when they're out harvesting, so I'm assuming we'll start getting some. Huh?
Who was reporting it?
Kevin Hornish, he has a farm on the east side of the road there from that intersection. He just let us know that there was a tile hole right along the edge of the waterway, right where the tile is.
And that'll be fixed before the end of the year, probably?
Oh, yeah, as soon as, I mean, I'm just kind of, the one contractor that I use a lot, he likes to have, 4 or 5 before he goes out.
Right.
So he has, spends a couple days, and he gets a lot of it done in a couple days, where, this one here would probably be, a couple hours, and the drive clear down there, and then back up to Rockville. It would,
Get out of all.
but more travel time, the time on the job, so. And then we got another, I know I have one other work order down there to do that, once the fields are out, the farmer's supposed to call me, so we'll have 2 right there close together within a mile or so of each other,
Makes sense.
so.
Saves us money.
Okay, yeah,
Thanks for mileage.
yeah, mileage for the month, for September was 529, a good chunk of that was going down to French Lick for annual conference, right there at the end of September, so, I mean, it's like 300 miles of it, so, but with that, and then we're due for, the other
Which
business.
hotel were you in?
One right above the casino.
French Lick.
There's one to the side of it, and there's a parking garage, and then they got one that's attached right above, or it's attached in the same building as the casino. So, but where all the conference stuff was going on, I basically had to go out the door and around the corner and up the elevator to the.
Did you win anything?
No, I didn't stay for the door prizes on Thursday. It was too much. I was getting back. I got back late Wednesday night. But with that, guess
So he's still married, so he didn't waste his money gambling, so.
Yeah. Between house projects. Yeah. So we're ready for 11:15 for hearing. You want me to start with the?
Whichever one you want to start with.
We'll do the.
Which one are you here for, young man?
The number 51, that's Hamilton Grading.
You got it first, Tim?
Yep, since he's here.
Okay. Basically, this is the number 51 Meps Hamel. It's got a watershed that's located in section 23, 26, 35 of Township 26 North, Range 3 West. Basically in the political township of Jefferson of Carroll County. The current map shows 328.688 acres in the benefited watershed. There's a total of about 16,985 feet of tile to be maintained. Basically, with the cost estimates on the summarization report there I got you, right now the rate's at $3 with a $5 minimum. We're bringing in $1,400 a year, or $1,400.60 a year. And the current balance is negative $18,546.89, which it's going to take over 11 years to get back at that time. And by the code, we're supposed to give it back within, try to get it within 4 or 5 years there. They don't like to leave it any longer than that. So I was requesting a rate of the $6 an acre and $15 minimum. Basically, it would bring in $3,310.45, which would get us out of the red in 6 years with a positive balance of $1,300. We didn't do any more work between now and then. But I mean, we just done a big project on it that we done from the north town of Yeoman clear up to 875, replaced a 15-inch tile through there.
I thought we did some pretty good work up there.
Yeah, so
So what's the chances you're gonna have to do more work in the next 6 years?
Depends on the rainfall.
yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, we've replaced from the creek up to the tracks. There's probably, I don't know, maybe 600, 700 feet, or maybe 1,000 by the time you get to the north town line. That's still the older tile, but there's a kind of a waterway on part of it too, so with air wells in it. So I mean, but it's still, I mean, it's functioning, and I mean, like I said, with all the new plastic, I mean, there's still going to be a sinkhole here and there, but those are usually $500 or $600 usually to get fixed, maybe 800. But so we can handle a couple of those over the next few years, but it would get us closer anyway.
And sir, your name?
Jeff Day.
Jeff Dag, and your concern today is the rates, or?
My concern is that the town lots, 101 town lots are paying way more than their share than an acre of ground. And may I read a letter?
You may.
Come up here.
You may.
May I also give you a couple pieces of paper?
Sure.
I give one to Mr. Shockley.
Yeah, I don't need one of those.
There's 2 papers for each. This is the letter I got from Mr. Shockley. And it shows my lots, and as you can see, I own 6 lots there in Yeoman. Tile, and as Mr. Shockley said, the tile was replaced north of town. My property is located just south of the road there in Yeoman and has a surface drain on it. And with the new tiling that's done, when we get heavy rains, the water comes out of the surface drain of my property. So with the tiling it's done, it's going to make it's gonna acerbate my water on my property, I think.
So you think it, with the new tile flowing better, and you might get more water coming up out of that?
Absolutely. Mr. Shockley has informed me that further ditching is going to be done right there, right in the road right next to my property, which this is a picture, it's already has kind of a ditch in it. So if we get that out, clean that out more, then I'm going to get more water quicker. So is it going to flood me even worse?
Is this lot vacant, or you got a house on it, or?
No, 5 of these, I don't have anything on, only one lot I have a building on it.
Okay.
And the water sits on my property until the tile can catch up after a large rain. In the letter from Mr. Shockley, it shows 6 lots of mine with benefited acres. And I fail to see the benefit that I or any lot in Yeoman will receive from the tiling that has been done and the need for more funding. It didn't benefit Yeoman one bit, those town lots. Under the current proposal, the acreage would pay $1,968 and town lots would pay $1,500 with no benefit to the town, and they're going to pay almost as much as the acreage would. So as I said before, my 6 lots only has one building and doesn't have a well. So I really reject the notion that the town lot should pay 2.5 times more than an acre of ground when an acre of ground produces 5 times more water. My 6 lots, as you can see from the paper there, is 0.93 of an acre, but would pay the same amount of fees as 15.5 acres of ground. And I understand the argument for assessing lots higher because of the roofs not allowing absorption. However, a 1,500 square foot house sits on 1/5 of the lot, which leaves 4/5 of the yard for absorption. So it kind of shoots that, but would still pay 2.5 times more than an acre. It just doesn't seem to add up to me. And as you can see from the paper, my smallest lot is 48 hundredths of an acre, which is 1,960 square feet, and would pay 22 times, which 22 times smaller than an acre, yet would pay 2.5 times more money than an acre of ground. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me. Thank you for your consideration.
Pretty good number, pretty persuasive.
So with the new tile coming in, the old tile not keeping up, and that's why it would come up through the air vent, because it's all backed up.
It's not getting, I mean, it could probably use like a 30-inch tile, I mean, because everything's undersized compared to the drain we're getting out, when we did back in there. But we also, where his air well is, there used to be it's supposed to be a waterway from the road in Yeoman clear down to the railroad and down into the open ditch. There's some high spots in there, and the farmer is the one that wants to do this work. The county wouldn't have nothing to do with this work. I've told him to contact Soil and Water. He has to get with landowners. He has to do all that. I don't have no. I mean, the only thing we would do is maybe give him let her use our easement because the drain's right underneath the tile or the open ditch right at the road. But once it goes out a little bit, the open ditch kind of goes to the side of the waterway. I guess you call it. It's not really an open ditch, but it's just a waterway. But there's some high spots and low spots in there that need to be cleaned out, and that's what the farmers want to do to get all the water through the town and out to where it's not standing on any of the town. But
And that would solve his problem?
I mean, it would help, but it will, in fact, I mean, there'll be some, there'll be a swale in there, so it's gonna be not flat ground as it is right now, or not as flat. It would be maybe a little
But
deeper.
that's on the farmer's ground and not on this.
But they got an open ditch they've already put in, the farmer from basically just on his other side of his property, clear down to the railroad tracks, and then from there down, we have already shot elevation, there's fall that way in the waterway. So it's just a matter of getting the water from the road, right when it comes under the road, there's a big air well there, but right there at that point, there's a big mound of, it's kind of just debris come out of it and stuff, and it just built up sediment, and we were gonna start cleaning from there and just take it all the way around the town and into the Yeoman, or into the railroad waterway, but that's what they were looking at doing. I mean, like I said,
That's the farmer.
I'm not involved in it, that's off the right of way, and,
Yeah.
I mean.
Jeff, how long does that water stand in your yard when this happens? Less than a couple hours?
Yeah, typically 2 or 3 days, I mean, and might I add that the tile right on where the air well is, it's got a low spot in it, so it sits with about that much water in it all the time. And
That's on the farmer's.
Well, the tile would be, I mean, there may be, it's 100 years old, that section we haven't replaced yet, there may be spots or even a tree root or something.
And I understand you're gonna have some flooding, and I bought that property with that understanding, and I know I can't build there and do anything with it. I just don't see that paying 2.5 times more than an acre is feasible. That's where I'm coming from.
Is that a minimum charge we have to charge by the state?
You have flexibility to set whatever the evidence.
Yeah.
What is it?
Because normally most lots, when they're small like that in towns, each lot has a building that takes up,
Right.
a lot of times at least, 25 to 50% of it, and then, they got septic systems and everything like that too, so.
For example, you
Yeah.
could, in this situation, find that since there's only an improvement on one of those lots, that under the circumstances of this case, you're only going to assess for apply the per lot assessment to the one lot that has an improvement on it, because of the conditions of this property, not because it's not benefited, because all of it's presumed to be benefited. But there appears to be actual, problems, at least. So my suggestion would be to approve for these 6 lots, assessment for only one of the lots.
One of them at 15 and the others would stay the minimum 5 that the state requires, or?
Yes.
I mean, 'cause that's the
Yeah,
lowest it'll go.
the state is a 5.
Yeah, anything that's on a bill will be
Yeah.
5, so it would take him, because in his defense, 3 of his lots are literally less than 1 lot, really. There's
Right.
parts of a lot. There are 2 of them, like, you got strips across the bottom of a couple and stuff.
Yes.
A couple of them are real small. I looked at it after we talked, and, and I was gonna tell you that there was only 1 building on 1 lot, but it took up, pretty much the whole lot, I think. It's a pretty good sized building. Yeah, but everything else is just grass ground, so it wouldn't,
So we'll charge the
so-
minimum of the new rate for the 1 lot, and then we can,
Yeah, so instead of 90, he'd be paying 40.
are you good with that to help
I think
with the
that'd be right.
improvement?
Yes, sir.
5 times 5 is 25, and then 15
Is there
for
a way
one.
to combine in lots?
Yes, you can. That's something you need to
Yeah.
consider, is
Yeah, you
Combine
can,
them.
yeah, and
Get a new
if
legal
there's an
description.
alley, if there's an alley involved, you can ask the Board of Commissioners to
Okay.
vacate the alley, and you've got.
well, they'd have to go to the city, or town of Yeoman, they already got their own board.
They-
They're
okay,
incorporated.
Right,
So-
so that's,
Yeah.
so it's incorporated, right.
So they would have to, Yeoman would have to
Yep.
vacate
You
that,
you-
so.
you
That
own
probably
both sides of the
It might cost
alley,
you
right?
more money in the beginning to put them together, but in the long run, it'll save you money.
Yeah, well,
You
yeah,
just pay the
just
one-
reducing it to 5,
Yeah.
it's, you pay an attorney or a lawyer
All
to,
right.
or not a lawyer, but a surveyor to draw up a new description or something like that, because.
That might be something you might want to consider.
Yeah,
I appreciate your consideration.
yeah,
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
Learn something new today.
yeah.
They have to have from the town.
Well,
Yeah,
to
when they have
vacate
to have-
the alley.
Vacated alley. but-
Now-
Is there an alley?
The process of combining the
Parts of 2 of
lots
them,
wouldn't
yeah.
involve the town.
Okay, just-
Yeah, you just get a survey of, a survey and a quit claim deed from yourself to yourself with one combined description.
And then once the new legal description, it gives a new number and
Yep,
new tax number, and it'll just be 1
Yeah.
lot instead of 5 or whatever.
That way you're only paying, what, the new price would be 15.
Well, I can't do that because NIPSCO has easements through there that,
Well, you could, forget doing the vacation and just go with the combined, do,
Get a couple of
get a
them.
survey of the total property, and that survey, and then a quitclaim deed, you get a lawyer to give you, prepare a quitclaim deed to put the new description in other words, you're conveying it to yourself, you know, and then that will be recorded, and the auditor's office can show one parcel gets a new parcel ID number, and you've only got one property.
I understand.
It may be more, I don't know, if it's more marketable that way, valuable to have a single description or not.
So do we need a motion to do what you
Well,
just explained for
I mean,
the?
I think once the hearing's done, we'll have to just make a hearing approving the rates with the correction of that, right?
Right.
Okay.
Because I do have one other thing to talk about on that too, so. Because basically, he was the one to come in on this hearing and talk to us about it, other than, the work we did do, was, mostly north of town, and that, Carroll farm owns it. And that's, they are the ones that done the installation for us. They did all the installation and paid for part of the pipe out of their pockets. And they was hoping maybe we'd give them just a little bit of a break, even, you know, $1 an acre or something, just kind of for their parts in it, just to help out a little bit on that. But if not, they said they're okay with it because they're gonna benefit from it too, so. So, I mean, because there was some, that was the one that was, they owned right where the big jog was in it, and we were always having sinkholes there, and it was just quartering and collapsing, it was rolled clay, so. We kept fixing, we were spending a lot of that, the negative balance was probably a lot of fixes we've already done over the last 7, 8 years.
How many acres?
That I don't know. Well, I didn't bring that report.
My thinking is, we're gonna get this paid down and go back,
Yeah,
you know, within a reasonable time, because there's gonna be more, something else come up.
yeah.
Especially in the southern part of it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we appreciate them doing that, but can we actually do that? Drop it to $1 or less acre just on them? Because they did the tile work themselves?
If you've got evidence of what it cost,
yeah, I mean, I got a receipt when they done it, we paid like for almost $10,000 a pipe, and then they had another $14,000 for the installation and the rest of the pipe. They done what they figured, what they would have charged if they would have been doing it for somebody.
you would be allowing a credit to the assessment. You'd be assessing them all the same, but allowing a credit to the assessment. And then when you certify the assessments to the auditor's office, you certify that one property at a lesser amount because you've already received value for that.
And they own several fields though, so that's what I'm
Pardon?
saying. They own several fields.
That's what I
I didn't bring the list. I mean,
is all the 328 acres involved on their property?
no, there's some, Dave Diener owns some of it. Somebody else that owns some up there. I'm not sure if it's Mike Thomas or something.
But it's not all theirs.
Yeah, it's not all theirs. There's a couple other farmers up on the north side there that own parts of it too. So I think one's on the east side of the gravel road going out of town to the north. It's a different farmer, but he's on another drain too that we're on, and but no, I did. That's all. I mean, I just put that out there. He said if it goes one way or the other, it don't matter. He just thought it'd be nice, but if not, they're not gonna argue over it, I don't
We
think.
can take it off on his taxes anyway, couldn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of agreement before you did this with them? You agreed to let them do that, right?
Yeah, he has to prove insurance, and he's a actual, they do contracts for, they're a contractor basically but we just, we purchased pipe, I went out and we've actually we replaced under the county road because it was an old steel pipe that was really rusted out and was full of twos almost. It was not getting hardly any flow under the road either, so, which another contractor done that because dealing with the road and stuff like that, he didn't want to mess with that, but.
I think Lauren's point is good. I don't think you should do this as a program unless you've got a program. and adopt it.
Oh, you mean to give discounts like that?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
because I think, because how things are, how expensive this is in general, that public-private cooperation is probably, I think you need to encourage private investment in the drainage, even in the regulated drains. And I think to incentivize that is if you have a program where it's set in place where they come in and get approval in advance of doing it.
Before we do the hearing.
And having, you know, minimum specifications for the work and subject to inspection by the county surveyor, and then it comes back to the board, and then they approve it as a credit against the assessment. Not setting the assessment low, but as a credit against whatever the assessment would be.
So we can implement that.
That's something we can work on.
I think that would be a good idea.
'Cause I mean, really him and maybe, like Fred Wise and them, they've got insurance and do business with several, for other farmers and stuff too. That's the only two that's ever done a lot of work, or done any work for us, other than actual licensed contractors, so. But they, like I said, they both carry the insurance and everything and that we require, and so. But yeah, I don't see a problem. Like I said, we can get something figured out in the future. Well,
Is there anything else on the number 51 before we move on?
That'd be one thing I have.
So what's our next step here to approve the claim or the new amount with the exception?
Yeah.
With the exception of the only one, assessing that amount only on one of those 5 lots, right?
6.
One of 6 lots. And the state minimum of $5 on the other 5. We can work on the wording of that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we still got plenty of time. I mean, because once, like I said, Ted and I can get the wording written down right on it, in the order, and then we can send it out. And it's still got plenty of time for the 20 days and everything before the end of the year, so we'll still get it approved and on assessment for next year, no matter what. So.
Jeff, you're okay with that? Just doing the one property and the minimum on the others?
Yes, I still think town lots to pay it shouldn't have to pay 2.5 times more, but I'll take what I can get.
If this was going on in boroughs, I think those people would be grateful to have drainage improvement. I think they're fortunate that they can get something done up there with the drainage. Because these still, that's an incorporated town, boroughs is not. So
Right.
it's just hard to get people on board to.
So we need a motion to approve the new rates? Or do you want to just table this until the next one?
No, you guys can approve it because the order is actually 2 pages, and I mean, you can wait until I can get a hold of you when we get it finished and just have you sign it. That way it's already approved, so we can do it and still get it out next couple weeks, hopefully.
Just do it once. Be done with it.
You make a motion to approve with that, with those,
With the change.
with those changes would be the motion I would suggest.
Do you understand this? Do you understand the changes?
Hmm?
Exception,
Yeah.
I'll make the motion, but I don't know if I can repeat the whole thing, but 5 lots, one gets assessed plus the other at the regular rate of 15, and the
The
other's
other
at
five
$5 per.
Yeah.
Right.
And
That's your motion?
That's the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. That concludes the
Thank you for coming in.
Vince Hellman hearing. Thank you, Jeff.
And then I'll
Have a good afternoon.
You
I
too.
just get with you whenever,
You get it worded right.
get it worded right, and we'll have you sign it then, so that way you can read it before we sign it.
All right. And our next one is 88 James Shanks.
Yes. That is the number 80, James Shanks. It's a watershed located in sections 3 and 4. A township 25 north, range 1 west, or 1 east in the political township of Washington. Currently, through our reports, we have 428.5 acres benefited. There's a total of 7,960 feet of tile to be maintained. The survey is based on, the annual cost of the current rates are $125 an acre. And right now, there's only 5 small parcels. It's basically a lot of farm ground. And so we're only bringing in $550 a year. Right now, we're $3,271.91, and that was just one work order. It went from being drained, it's not even on this year because it was before, or right when it happens, when we already had everything turned on for the year. And it went that far in the hole. So with the cost of everything going up and labor and rate, the tile and everything, I wanted to raise it to $3 an acre with still leave the $5 minimum because there's only gonna be 2 lots paying it, the rest is all acreage. And it would bring in like $1,290. So it would take like 3 years instead of 6 years to pay it off or to get it back in a positive balance. And we'd actually, after 6 years on the other one, the new rate, we would have like 4,500 sitting there. And it would also let us it would actually, we may almost have to shut it off, but it'd be just getting close to there. So, but like I said, just with a lot of these, some of these drains that I'm bringing, the rates are so low, they haven't been changed in 30 years, and we got a couple of 60 cents an acre still, and
Wow.
50 cents. We got, though I'm gonna be bringing eventually to it. So,
Well, I entertain a motion for the new rates for
since there's no public involved,
for 88 James Shanks.
and I had no complaints on it. Nobody called to ask anything about it. So. We did have one letter come back, but that was only, so they didn't get it, so. But we did mail them out the 29th, so we had over the 10 days before, so, it was like 17 days ahead of the meeting, so we had to mail them out ahead of time.
Shouldn't they all be up to the new $5 minimum charge, everybody now, since we just did it on the last one?
Mm-hmm.
15.
Yeah, the last one went up to 15, but
Yeah.
if the state is now at $5 a parcel.
Well, that's
And we get-
the smallest you can put on a tax bill.
That's the lowest.
Yeah, the tax bill, when they put it on there, the minimum you can put on there is a $5 fee. That's minimum.
Okay.
So,
But you're saying we got some that are under $1, so do those all need to be raised as per code?
well, no, that's rate per acre.
Right.
Okay.
So,
All right.
anything that makes under the $5, you just put it's a minimum, it automatically gets triggered. It'll say they only owe $1, but boom, they have to pay $5, so that's a small
Okay.
little one there, so.
And if he raised it to 15, it's like a bring it $10 more for the drain. So.
Yeah.
Current balance. Is there work to be done on that? I'm looking for that.
No, this is the first time we've done any work on it since I've been in 11 years, so. It was just one of those deals that was, actually, that it came from the west to the east, and it turns a 90-degree corner right at the road, and he runs up the east, or the west side